Hi, I'm Gavin. So I've been dabbling with my old Mac 5.1 and I've managed to get an RTX card working in it, brought the thing back to life, and it's now running Linux. And so as I was seeing some comments people have made on various forums and things about, is, Linux a good platform for Resolve? And, there's the problems that come with it. You can't get certified ProRes out of it, all these kind of things that you need for like proper work. So I thought I'd make a video about that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make go through making a television commercial for broadcast in the United Kingdom from top to tail, do the proper lineup and everything like that. It would be delivered to someone like Clearcast, so it's based off Clearcast specs. And then, so I'll build the lineup. I don't know if anybody knows how to do that. You need to build a lineup. And then basically, I'm not going to grade. I'm just literally going to assemble the pieces technically for you, go through it. And then I'm going to deliver it from Linux in ProRes. So I'll show you how you can do that. So literally, I've got a ridiculously old 14-year-old computer here. Go through it with Resolve. And then at the end, we'll convert our material. I mean, in the UK, for Clearcast delivery in the UK, you do not need to do ProRes. I know it raves on about it. You can do Avid DNX, you can do Avid, and I think you can do, there's another format you can deliver in. So you don't actually need to do the final step if you're delivering a commercial, but I'm going to go through how you can get ProRes out of a Linux machine. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's interesting to note. I mean, I don't know why I started to go down the Linux route. I tried years ago and it just didn't work out, but now it's come so far. And so I installed Linux Mint on this machine, and it's just a clue about how efficient these operating systems are. Linux Mint's about 3 gig as an installation, and Mac Sonoma is, what, 14, 15 gigabytes? So what is it in that other gigantic chunk of Sonoma that's going onto a Mac that actually allows you to do what I'm about to do? Do you know what I mean? I know it's like all the toys that go with it, but it's an interesting thing. It's very, very efficient. This is a really old computer. The interface on Resolve is ridiculously snappy and it just works, as you'll see. And then, yeah, and then there's another app, but I'll go through it in a proper post-production way. So, I mean, I won't do the audio, and I'll explain that. I'll normally, you'd send that out to the audio guys to mix and do the LUF 23 thing to get it out to broadcast in the UK. Obviously, this all applies to UK people watching from America. This isn't what you do for American commercials. I have no idea what you do for those. But yeah, so this is basically how you do it. And we'll do it on this ridiculously old machine. I'll put in a ton of red and bits and bobs like that. I'm not proxying any of it. I'll do a 20-second commercial and then fire it out. And then you can have a look. I hope so you'll learn from this. I mean, it's really interesting. I always think that you need, for me, it was bread and butter. You need to know, I've done so many commercials, it freaks me out. You need to know how to deliver a proper lineup for a commercial. The creative bit you've done, you're going to grade it now. And I think the world, because of the web, people don't work to these right standards anymore. So they bang out an MP4, and it's not being QC properly. All these things go out the window. And these are old skills because you won't get it on broadcast unless you make it properly. And so if you make everything for broadcast, then you can't go wrong, can you? Because like the web isn't broadcast, it's a step down. And so if you do work like that, if you work at the standard of broadcast, you can't go wrong. So anyway, so that's my rant, maybe, over with. And so let's dive in. Let's dive in and have a look. So here we are in Linux Mint. And so what we're going to do is we're going to line out a commercial and then render it out. And then we're going to get it into ProRes, certified ProRes for delivery. Okay, so let's fire up Resolve. Now, I'm quite astonished by how responsive Resolve is on Linux. It's pretty impressive. This is a 14-year-old computer and it's pretty snappy. I mean, I'll do a little bit with it in a minute just to show you. I mean, this is a really old machine. I've got an RTX 460 in it. Anyway, so here we go. I've opened that up. I've got my media in here that I'm going to use for my commercial. Now, if you're going to start a commercial, it doesn't matter what what you do. You'd normally do this. So before you even start editing, so create new timeline. Now we're going to call whatever the name of the television commercial is. So we just call this TVC test. And there, the big thing about lining up is all about time code. So you see this is 1 hour for time code there. 1 hour for film. Television always starts at hour 10. However, that's picture start. We need to start before this because we have a leader that goes in to picture. So at the beginning of each year project ever, I mean, I used to have a machine set up to default to do this. 09595000. So we can start 10 seconds before picture. And you can see this here on the timer now. It's 09:59:50. It gives us 10 seconds till picture start for we're going to do in a minute our clock. Anyway, so let's just get some footage in here. I mean, what have we got here? I've got some, that's some red Komodo, and now this isn't proxied, and this is at full resolution in the timeline, just to show you sort of how it works in here. And then I've got a bit of 8K Canon CRM, Canon RAW. That's 8K Canon RAW. And then there's my son, who is shot old school in 4K DNGs, I think it is. I think it's 4K DNGs. Anyway, from Blackmagic. So there's the stuff on the timeline. I'm going to sort the colour out before I do this. I mean, I'm not doing grading in this. So I've actually, let's just go into here. I've not done it as an individual timeline. So colour management, I'm going to put it, there we are, Rec 709, Gamma 2.4, DaVinci Colour Managed. And then down the bottom, tick that on, but I don't think that's 100% guaranteed. The broadcast safe thing, I'm not sure about that one. Obviously, you're going to work with scopes and everything and your QC, but to make sure you don't have any massive colour excursions, you know, you need to run it through QC and everything like that. I'm not going to do that bit in this video. I'm just going to give you the lineup. I'll leave the colour bit to the colour people. Anyway, so there you go. I've got 3 stacks in there, and they're straight at the time. I'm just going to show you how quickly this thing can work. So I'll put this clip here at, what are we going to put at? We'll put that at 50% opacity, and I'll put the top clip at 25% opacity, and then we'll just play it. Now, so I've got 3 streams continuously running, an 8K, a 6K, and a 4K. Is it going to do it? And we're just about doing it. There we are. He's made it. That's not bad. Now, obviously, this will explode, I think. The more effects you put on it, I mean, it's not got much. It's going to colour. I've noticed this on moving on Linux. I don't know if this happens on Windows. When you get switch between, you go into like colour for the first time, it's slow. But when you snap back between the apps, it's pretty slick. So hang on, let me put some colour correction on. Put some noise reduction on that one. Noise reduction on that one. Noise reduction on that one. I don't know, we've got blur or something. Let's blur that. Blur. Let's put a block, I don't know, Gaussian blur on that. And then let's put that one, let's put a Gaussian blur on that, make it sort of do stuff, see if it can still play. And obviously, you know, if you can work with proxies, it's fine. See if it can do it. Oh, it's doing it. 25 frames per second. Oh, it's trying. Struggling there, it's on 23.5. It's getting there. I'm not sure if that's the disk speed. It's not got the fastest SSD in this thing. Anyway, you can see it's quite flexible, this machine. It's like a 14-year-old Mac 5.1. I think it's pretty good. Anyway, so we get on to make a commercial now. There we go, get rid of that, bring that down, put that back to 100% opacity. What did I do? Did I put a node on that? We'll reset that node, and we go back to timer. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. So everything about lining up for a commercial is on timecode. So I really recommend doing this. Go to workspace, timecode window, put the big numbers up the top there because you'll need them. And then the first thing you do in a lineup for a commercial is a clock. So here's a blank clock. It's 30 seconds long. I don't need all that. For a UK TV commercial for Clearcast, you need 7-second clock and 3 seconds of black. So there's a clock. It's like your details at the top, and then you fill in this area here. This is very important. So let's get rid of the blank one, and let's put one in there I made earlier. So here we go. Here's a product clock. I've put Ford commercial. What it is, new car. What the commercial is like. So it's Ford's, but it's like an Escort or whatever you put in there. Then this is the really important bit. This is the clock number. ZZZ, ABC, whatever. So that 3 letters at the beginning is the agency code, and there's more agency garbage in here. And then the 1 or the 2 or the 3 is the generation of the commercial. So it's like the other version, whatever, so it's the versions. Then 0200, 020 at the end means it's 20 seconds. And then down here you've got duration 20 seconds, aspect ratio 16:9, stereo EBU R128, come to that in a minute, then the date it was made. Now some purists out there may say you've not put duration on the left hand side, you haven't put the words, you don't need to. I mean, I've made a lot of these and I've never ever put the thing that says aspect ratio, sound and all that. I just put the info in. I think that's what they're really after, and I've never had one rejected. People get them rejected for messing that up by putting spaces in or lowercase and stuff like that, the clock number. Anyway, so that's that. So now I need to make this 10 seconds long. It's like huge. So let's just start off quickly, just bring that down and see where my clock sits. Go out there and that's how long I need it to be. Come on, go back. You're punching the keys along this. Put that to there, pull the front out. Okay, so now I have a 10-second clock. Yep. And now its picture start is here. And for my commercial, you'd have done your edit, you'd have done everything here. You know, I'm just mucking around with this really. I'm just giving you the times and spaces. So let's change the duration of that. The clip in here, or the essence, has to be 20 seconds dead. So let's make that 20 seconds. 20. And change. So now my clip's 20 seconds long. Now obviously you'd have, I don't know, an end card. We'll put that in there. There's my end card. And then you could, duration wise, you can deliver it like this. I mean, obviously there's no audio, I haven't done that bit yet. Duration, you could deliver like this, because they've got a version of delivery called zero freeze, which means it's literally this. Now I've always traditionally put a 10-second hold frame on the end, but now it's 5 seconds. So you need to drop in and put in, I put in, you don't need to, as I said, you could stop it there. I put in a hold frame at the end. Now it can't be animated or anything, it has to be like locked. Let's just check the duration on that. Change duration, 5 seconds, that's perfect. So there you go. So timing wise, this is correct. And as I said, I mean, is it broadcast safe? You know, all that kind of business. You would need to have done that with your grade or whatever you're doing. Last thing with picture is, are you title is as well, action safe it's called now. View, and then up here you go to action. Let's put that on there. And to turn it on. Did I not turn it on? Safe areas on. That would be handy. Okay, so this inner white line is action safe. It's really weird. When I checked on Clearcast, ASA states it's just concerned about anything you actually want to see. And Clearcast themselves don't check your action safe. So it's up to you to do this. So I mean, I would go, personally, I'd go back to graphics and get them to move the TV, because the area was going out, I think. I used to have, there used to be a square in the middle we used to do title safe. I don't think they use that anymore, but anyway, I may be wrong. If someone could let me know, that'd be great. It's not on the Clearcast website. Anyway, so view, let's get rid of that. Safe areas and, view, safe areas and off. Okay, so there we are. So let's do audio. So I've got a bit of music down here. I'm going to slam in underneath. Obviously it's way too long, so let's make that the right length. There we go. Now, you'd have done your audio mix and everything like this, and normally you'd send this off to the Pro Tools guys. They would come back with a single stereo track that you could drop in here and switch off your audio tracks, and you just run out with theirs. Because they'll do the EBU R128, which is the noise compliance, which is normalization of the sound to -23 LUFS, and it makes it broadcastable. There's various apps you can use to do this. Resolve has a version built in to normalize on export. Personally, I think it's worth paying for an audio guy to do your mixes and not get involved. I mean, you can have a go at it, but the audio guys, that's what they do. However, before you supply it to audio or do anything further, you need to just conform the audio, let me turn that on mute, to the specs for delivery. And what that means is you have to have 6 frames of silence at the beginning and 6 frames of silence at the end. So that's quite easy to do on the front end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can check that. Let's just punch in. We can check that by going in here, bringing up keep going. And then what we'll do is we'll unmute it, and I should, okay, I'll be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you just watch the meter spike. There you go, music on the 7th. And then you basically repeat that at the back end. Let's get down here. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull that in, unmute that. So yeah, pull it in, unmute that, and then we're going to just come back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can see Resolve like gives you the counter there. So let's go here. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, muted it. Brilliant. I'm going to try again. So back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spike on the meters. Okay, great. So now my music's in the right place. So I've got 6 frames of silence at the beginning, 6 frames of silence at the end, and that's it. So I've done pictures. So I've got a clock. Just a quick whiz through it. Move that out of the way. So I've got my clock, 10 seconds of clock, 7 seconds of clock, and then it's 3 seconds of black. 2 frames. Mute that again. 6 frames of silence. Then if we go end card, 6 seconds of silence, then freeze, and you're done. Okay, so now, obviously, just to reiterate, I haven't QC'd it. So now what you can do, you can export it. Now, Playcast or whatever in the UK has various delivery standards. So what you fundamentally could do is you could go out to, where are we? I think it's OP1 atom, and then it's 10-bit. You could go out to, you can go out to Avid and render it out that way, and then deliver it. And what we're going to do is we're going to go out to, I'm going to show you how to convert it. Quick time. I'm going to show you how to convert it. We're going to go out into ProRes, because you can't do ProRes out of Resolve in this. You can if you buy the £25,000-30,000 gigantic ProRes dongle known as the panels. So I'm just going to go, what are we going to do it? Do it in HR, 10-bit, OPA. Do this quick time. There we are. No, HD, HR I want. There we are. And I want 10-bit HQ. Now, someone's going to spot something here. I haven't put interlacing on it. What you're supposed to do is basically interlace on the way out. And you can so you set up interlacing and you render out, but I'm not going to, because of what I'm going to do next. So I'm not going to do interlacing on this at the moment, but you would interlace it for delivery. You need to have an upper field first, if you don't know what it is. So here we go. So test TVC out. So yeah, so if I set that up for interlacing, I could render it out and deliver it as it is. And the specs in the UK, 1920 by 1080 HD, 25 frames per second. So now I'm going to add this one, which is Avid DNX HR HQ 10-bit. I'm going to add it to my render queue. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm actually going to convert it to ProRes for delivery on a Linux machine. So let's just render this. And off it blitzes, and it's done. Okay, so let's come out of this. Now, here's the fun part. Obviously, I think there's only 3 programs. There is 3 programs that can make Certified ProRes on Linux. Autodesk Flame, as I mentioned, the gigantic dongled version of Resolve with the panels, and then the other one. And the other one is the most cost-effective. It's bizarre that you can do it through this. It's brilliant though. Lightworks. So it's a really old school editing package. It's been around forever. Pulp Fiction was Carnet. That's quite old. But it's and you can get rent. But the thing is, you can rent this for it's £19.99 a month. You spend an extra 50 quid to get the Avid encode decode license, and then you're good to go. And it renders ProRes on Linux, and it's certified. Brilliant. If you don't want to spend the 50 quid, if you're going to be a real cheapskate and get the Avid decode and encode, you can actually just do it out of Cineform from Resolve and render it out that way. So, okay, let's just do this quickly. So I'm now going to convert this to Certified ProRes. So test TVC. It's a great program. I mean, I don't edit it, I do it in Resolve. And all we need to do now is import our clip. And what did I call it? Test TVC out. There it is. And you can do this. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to make a sequence straight away. Whole clip, create. Okay, and I'm going to close that. And then I double click on that. And there's my, anybody notices I muted the export of the audio in Resolve and I didn't turn it back on. So there's no audio, but believe me, it works. Anyway, so here's our clip in the timeline, and something else obvious here. It's obviously the timecode stripped. So what we need to do up in our metadata up here, we need to change the start timecode to 9, oh, not 89, 9:59, and then we need to go to 50, and then that'll be that. Great. And then just go to export settings, and we're going to export it as interlaced, and we're going to export it as Apple ProRes HQ, overlays none, audio 48K. I did 24. It should be 24-bit. You can deliver it 16-bit, but just always do 24. And then what am I going to send it to? I'm going to send it out to my video folder. Choose, and then we are going to start. So it's going to bash out this video, and then we're going to open it with media info and check that it's okay. Here we go. I think it's really clever that you've got Lightworks to do this on here. I mean, it's a really good editing package. It's super cheap. I mean, what you could do, buy your license of Resolve, 300 quid. Buy your permanent license of Lightworks, 300 quid, £600. No more subscriptions, and you can do everything on here now. I mean, there's loads of other apps you can use on Linux, but it's just it's really great that you can do this on this platform. Okay, so close that down. Let's get rid of that. Let's go into my video folder. And actually what we want to do is menu, and we want media info, and then we're going to go file, open file. We're going to go into video. What did I call it? Test CV secrets. We'll use, that's the one. I didn't name it properly, but it's that one. Open, and let's have a check to make sure everything's okay in media info. So what have we got? MP4 QuickTime, ProRes version 1, interlace top field first, upper field first. The other way around is not fun. So upper field first, and there's my audio, 48, 24 bits. Where's my start time? Start time, time code. Where is it? There it is. Time code 09:59:50. That's my time code. So yeah, there we go. So I could send that off now. Obviously, I haven't done any QC. There's some brilliant online QC packages and things like that you can use. I think the people who make Lightworks actually have their own QC system that you can use, or you can virtualize and run it on here in Windows, because obviously you can run Windows in Linux. It's nuts. But there you go. So that's it. So DaVinci Resolve on Linux, making a commercial and then delivering that commercial in ProRes. It can be done, and it's not that expensive, and it's brought a pretty old machine back to life. Okay, so there you go. Not hard. All the specs you want to find for delivery for Clearcast in the UK are on the Clearcast spec technicals library. You can get them there. I hope that sort of educates somebody how to do this. It's not hard. It's great to be able to do on Linux. I mean, I'm just cracking myself up doing it on this, because I've got a very powerful Mac over here. But because this is so snappy and so I don't know what it is. I think the rebel in me, because I'm not using a Mac or a PC anymore to do this, I just find it quite enjoyable that I can do all this stuff on a really old computer. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't like to do anything long format on this. I mean, let's be serious about it. I wouldn't like to do any GPU heavy effects and all this sort of business. I mean, this just isn't built for it. But you think about it. You build yourself a powerful PC and you're not happy with Windows. You put Linux on it and this setup, you're good to go. Anyway, thanks for watching.